yeah, let's go from your personal favorite moments from Money in the Bank, and it's how many years now? What, like 15 years of Money in the Bank, nearly?
Yep. Well, in general, I think I kind of have. I've had a bit of an affinity for CM Punk's history of Money in the Bank because he was the first person to win it 2 years in a row. I know Edge won it twice.
No, he
Okay.
didn't.
He-
no,
he-
he didn't. He didn't win the Money in the Bank
He
match
he
twice.
won it from Mr. Kennedy.
He won the briefcase, but he didn't
Once.
win the match
Yes.
twice.
That's
So
literally what I said.
fuck Edge.
Oh, we're getting more intense on that anti-Edge front.
Come on, man. Like, he's good. He was good.
But Brood Edge ruins everything.
You know, it wasn't that great.
It wasn't a
We
thing.
used to boo him. Remember when he won Money in the Bank? I even watched that one last night. Everyone boos him when he wins that match.
Because he was a mega fucking heel.
'Cause no one liked him.
Yeah, he was a big heel.
Yeah, because we realized, Solo Edge isn't even that great.
Which is why they put him
Man's
in Leo.
special move is the spear.
He does the worst spear in the industry.
It's like, oh, look at his hair flowing. Yay.
He do be cute. He's a fluffy boy.
We could literally do a tier list of like who has the best spear.
Goldberg at the top.
Spoiler, no one. It's not a good special move.
Well, Goldberg's is good.
Meh.
Because he looks hard as
He
fuck
looks
when
like
does
if
it.
he spears you, it's gonna fucking suck. Most wrestlers do, but that's what I mean in the day. Like, I want to say, who would I least like to receive a spear from? Yeah, it's between Goldberg and fucking Rhino.
Rhinos was so good that they didn't call it the spear. It was the
Yeah.
gore.
At least
Gore!
At least they put that spin on it. That was like the only interesting angle of the 20 people whose spear is their the spear is their
2008 boy
finishing move. At least he was like, I'm gonna call it something else, and they're like, yeah, that's probably a good angle. Cool.
Makes it a little bit more unique to him because the way he hits it and the impact it gives.
Kind of like the frog splash and the 5-star frog splash. At least it was called the 5-star frog splash. You know, some people now just call it the splash, and I'm like,
I don't even know why they did that.
What are we doing splash? What do you mean the splash? Not the frog splash, just the splash. Splash.
But when you say the splash, I can imagine a splash. Just a guy throwing his arms up in the air and landing with his tum-tum on someone's belly.
Yeah, it's getting a bit, I don't know, because most like aerial moves, turnbuckle moves start to look the same. Anyway, back to Money in the Bank. Yeah, what's your favorite?
Oh, man.
So like you mentioned Punk's, like is it his first or his second that you prefer?
It was more just the moment of him winning it. Because obviously on the first one, he was the underdog. He was the young guy who everyone wanted to see succeed. But the second year it happened, everyone was like, oh, he won it last year. I don't like this. And it was one of the most genius, slow-burning heel turns ever. Because when, obviously, like, you see someone win something that you don't want them to win, most of the time, they let it happen. Because it's up to them. They book it. But with this one, it was kind of it was smart because they were like,
I don't
people
want
aren't
to
happy
see
with
Punk
this.
win.
But he's going to do it. He's going to do it again. And then as the year went on, he feuded with Jeff Hardy. He feuded with The Undertaker. And he became possibly WWE's top heel.
See, this is when I tuned out. See, I missed a lot of this. So I've watched the matches. I've seen CM Punk's wins. It's... See,
28 was definitely better than 29.
This is where I have a bit of an issue with Money in the Bank. Because it's like, there's this trope where most of the match doesn't even matter. Like, there's all these 6 spots, there's all these moments. But then it really only comes down to, like, who is conveniently the last man standing in the last, like, 3 minutes.
Who's looking at the hard cam when they go for the belt?
And it's like, okay, but, like, there's rarely this feeling of, like, dominance in a match. There's never been someone who's, like, you know, like, for example, I'm just pitching this. The 2019... had Brock, like, just steamrolled, say we're going to do this and Brock's going to win it, had he at least just been, like, in the match for, like, I don't know, let's say 3 minutes alone and just, like, steamrolled everyone. Like, I'm talking, like, ring clears. He just goes in and like everyone's in the ring, they're all fighting, and he comes in, they all try and stand ground, and he just clears the ring, and then takes it. It's so much more interesting. It's like, yeah, he actually just fucking beat everyone physically for it. Like, there's never been a moment like that where someone, like, it's always like someone just conveniently beats the person who was closest to just about winning at the end. It's like, okay, but like, where's the earn? Where's our like clearly the person who was supposed to win this because they just fucking battered everyone moment.
You know that moment they had this year when everyone was in the ring. Obviously, at the start of the match, everyone ganged up on Logan, but they had that same spot towards the end of the match where everyone sort of looks at each other. It's like, we're on our feet, we're rallied, we're ready to fight. Imagine if they'll do that, and you know that little moment where Damien Priest goes, just screams, yeah, and then starts swinging. Imagine if he does that, and then Brock comes out, because then everyone, they would have that mentality of, we have to get him. Oh fuck, we fought so hard, and now probably the biggest name of MMA and WWE history is here. Let's all start swinging. Let's get him, and they beat him down, but he wins.
Yeah,
and at least you have the story of, okay, they're all worn down, but also he's a beast. He's the beast.
He's the beast. Yeah, like something just that feels more earned, even in the moment, because just walking out and basically just like barely hitting one person and just taking it is like, okay, so you just robbed us of. You basically wasted our time.
This has really gotten to your core, hasn't it?
This is back to me. I'm just shooting on 2019 now. I'm like, that was such a fucking bad decision. Like I'm not against. Okay, well, we just wanted it in Brock's hands. Fine, if that's how he wanted to do it. That's how he didn't. And maybe Brock didn't want to wrestle. Or I don't know. You had some stupid agreement where he didn't even have to wrestle. But like, come on, for the fans, at least make it convincing.
The funny thing is, his run with that Money in the Bank briefcase was actually quite good, because he carried it around like a boombox, and he didn't realize that you had a whole year to do it.
It's funny.
It is funny, but why did we have to do this to get here?
Yeah, why did you just have to have him run out and be like, "Oh, Brock's gonna win this, by the way," and like that was pretty much confirmed from the moment you saw him just running down the ramp. It was like, oh yeah, he's just gonna. Is he actually gonna? Yeah. Oh yeah, he's up the.
You're ruining everything.
Oh, that was fun. No, it wasn't at all.
In fact, it's ruined my entire opinion tonight. That's why it goes down as the worst Money in the Bank. But you talk about like having that moment where someone just like shows dominance and just like cleans house. They've run this thing. I think they did. And they may have felt backed into a corner, but they did the opposite this year. And that was with LA Knight. I think for most of the match, it felt like LA Knight was running in, getting his pop, and then he was getting his ass handed to him.
Yeah, there was a few moments where, like, you know, because he obviously was the person who triggered the big spot, I suppose, the Logan Ricochet spot.
Yeah,
it was him pushing them over, and like
1, 2, and then he gets it on the third try.
And yeah, no, that was a fun spot, and like the moments he had were great, and you know, like even having it come down to between him and the winner was obviously like decided.
They knew what they were doing, and it was the right call, absolutely, because he's in your mind even when he's not winning. Brilliant, love it.
So, you know, I think it went down well. Like I don't think this was one of the worst, for the record. I think 2022 was good.
I think it was one of the best.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the best. So I don't know, something about like the fun of watching the first one, man. Like, I think they had a good balance, and this is something that I wanted to get into. For me, there's a reason this one and some of the others haven't been as strong, and I think it actually comes down to the state that the roster's in at the time. The people that actually are going to have time to even have worked together or worked together recently. And I think when you go back to the state of the roster in the first one, all these guys were already facing each other like quite a lot. They've been working together a lot. So when it came to putting them in a ladder match against each other, I think they're all very comfortable, all very ready to like work these mad spots together, and probably actually had time to rehearse it as well, because it was obviously like, you know, the first time it had been pitched, they probably did have way more rehearsal time. Whereas now it's like, it's more formality. You've been drafted to do the Money in the Bank. Like, you know, you better remember your fucking ladder training. Like, you know, you've been told who's supposed to win it, and you
He's
get
done Uriah Haskell.
you do a couple. You chat to a couple guys in the match. Like, oh man, let's maybe try and do this. Yeah, you could body slam me. Yeah, whatever. Like, put me through a ladder. Like, and that's it. And I think that's sort of why it doesn't feel like the flow is there. So when I'm talking about the flow, like, because the spots are still there, and like, these guys are professionals. They're all sick at what they do, and they kill it every time. Like, but there's always this like stagnation. I think like there's like almost like a go-to. It's like the filler is like shit. Like someone's just like taking the ring, so let's just make sure that person's the next person to be thrown out. Let's just like keep throwing each other out, like, and it's just this constant cycle of like two guys in, someone gets thrown out, next person comes in, thrown out, next person goes in, thrown out, and this goes round and on until eventually it just ends. And I'm like, this has sort of become the formula for Money in the Bank, and it's quickly getting old. So either something, and I'm not saying change the contract, but like something within the stipulation needs to change. I'm like, I'm pushing hard for this Money in the Bank War Games, men and women at the same time match. I think that would change the fucking game, and it would be excellent. Like, because, like I said, the spots that could then be worked into that as well has infinite possibilities. You can have a moment where it's like, for whatever reason, it just becomes the men versus the women. Like, I don't know, the first one, I'm throwing it out there, they only put like 4 ladders in, and 3 ladders get broken.
Well, I mean,
and there's
actually, that's hard as fuck.
When it comes down to it, there's still like 4 or 5 people on their feet, and there's 1 ladder left, and they're trying to get this. Or we add a fucking time limit. I don't even know. Like, we have one where there's no winner. I don't know. Like, just start doing some crazier shit with Money in the Bank.
Well, you've got the obvious one, which, I mean, you don't want to do it on the first one because it's too obvious. But you throw Rhea Ripley in there, and she wins the men's one. She says, fuck you, I'm taking the men's one.
She just takes it.
Yeah.
She just takes both. Like, this is the moment where
takes both. Love it.
She just takes both.
What are they going to do?
And, like, they say, like, she's not allowed to cash in the men's, but, like, she still won it. So a man has to beat her for them. Like, and you've just got this running thing where she's allowed to cash in, but also she's also got a side plot where a man is trying to beat Rhea Ripley for the men's Money Bank, and she just keeps winning.
Yeah. You could have it where she cashes it in on a weak champion and beats him. And then
she becomes the first female United States champion.
No, we are respectful because she can do it. She beats him, and then Adam Pearce or whichever like authority figure comes out and says, no, you can't do that. And then you have a Daniel Bryan moment because everyone's rooting for her. Everyone's like, no, we want to see her win. And then you have Rhea Ripley beat the male champion clean at WrestleMania. If you want to do it in the terms of like she wins the Royal Rumble.
We're sending it to another channel. I'm going to keep shouting out channels because I don't want to disrespect them by stealing their gimmicks, but I feel like there's another channel to do is 2 guys essentially pitching against each other. I like your idea, but I would say everything but the main male, because we've already got it. So there needs to be like almost like an outcome to this. And my outcome would be have her go for one of the secondary titles, the IC or the United States. Upon winning, she wins it, obviously, because she's a fucking beast. And it, like, have her beat like Austin Theory or some shit.
Not good. Anyone beat Austin Theory, but
right. She wins it, and for like a couple months, we're like, have him get his rematch, lose, and it's a situation where like she's in the ring gloating. Say maybe by this point she's maybe even lost the women's title, whatever, but she's gloating that she's taken a man's title, and you've got a man and a woman both vying to take the title, and she keeps beating men and women for it. Like we keep throwing mid-carders at her, so she could just keep squashing men and women for like a few months, and then after like a few months of dominance, the only logical option is to let her keep it as a woman and let the men have another title, and we create finally a secondary women's title that isn't just a tag title, and have her pioneer that.
I like that, but I just want to see some equality.
I do want to see like a title match, but at the same time, I feel like, as lame as it is, I understand traditions and almost like replicating things, and I feel like first, because they've come close, but they haven't had a unification of the Raw and Women's SmackDown, like Raw and Women's titles, Raw and SmackDown's titles.
SmackDown Women's
we got close of Becky having them both.
Becky 2 belts. Yeah, we had that.
And I really thought we were gonna maybe even have Rhea beat Bianca and Rhea take them both and finally have an undisputed women's champion. I don't know, but I feel like that needs to happen first before we start having women taking the title from men. I feel like we need to have the undisputed women's champion at some point, and I feel like Rhea was almost the perfect candidate for it. Maybe too obvious. Maybe have someone else work their way up.
Sometimes obvious is right though.
But yeah, why not have her be the one? She beats Charlotte. She beats Bianca. She beats all like the big names.
Do a Vengeance 2001 kind of thing where you have a tournament for it, and all that night everyone's going to root for Rhea, and to have that moment where she overcomes the odds and she does it, people will go mad.
Yeah, have her beat Charlotte at the end. Have Charlotte almost win it, because it's Charlotte. But then Rhea win it overall, and it be that moment, and then we have the undisputed women's champion.
And it'd be a proper like babyface turn for her because she needs to turn babyface.
Yeah, I think honestly, again, something that I've thought about, because I really do like the Judgment Day. I've decided they are my favorite stable in a long time. It takes me a lot to actually fall into a stable because I feel like stables always go stale quickly. But I like the Judgment Day. I like the sort of fluidity they've had with their story. Like they've had all the cliches that stables have, and what they're going through now is a cliche in itself. But it works because they're showing that there's still stability within it, which is like a good change. And I think, going forward, I think, again, they could have something which, again, isn't too unexpected, but it would be interesting for whatever happens at the end of this. There's one thing I definitely want by the end of this, but the first I'm trying to say is have Rhea come out of this a babyface somehow.
Yeah, has to. She's a star. Absolute star.
But the real story that the fans really need, and I don't think people even realize this is where this should always have been going all along, is the reveal that, deep down, Dominic Mysterio is the next greatest lucha there actually has ever been.
Right, where the fuck has this come from?
You've
sprung this on me.
I've been thinking about this all along, and honestly, I've been seeing the notes. Look at him. Look at what he does. He does theatrical wrestling at the moment where he plays like a pussy.
Yes.
He's, don't hit me. But then every now and again, he does something. Even if it's him being hit with a move, he does something that makes me think, you have always been trained by one of the greatest luchas there is. You are the son of Rey Mysterio. You telling me this guy doesn't know any lucha star wrestling? Bullshit.
He clearly does.
I'm calling bullshit. And I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that, the whole angle this whole time, Daddy's genius, maybe him and Daddy and Vince's genius is why don't we have him be an absolute pussy and a terrible wrestler for his entire introduction, and then eventually when the time comes, when people least expect it, and when it's finally gotten boring, his whole act's gotten boring, have him become just this sick technical wrestler.
So, he's finally given an opportunity. He's finally given, a title match, whether it's US, not Intercontinental, because Gunther's going to carry it forever.
And have it triggered by something obvious, Ray's gone. It's been a while since Ray's gone, and have people, shitting on Rey Mysterio and, back, have it almost, be reminiscent of when he used to disrespect his father. But for whatever reason, something is, pushed in him, and maybe they disrespect Eddie in the same line, and it's this oh, was he defending his dad or was he defending Eddie, and that triggers him to then just become Dominic Mysterio. The real Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic. Oh no, we can't do that.
And all of a sudden he's hitting 619s almost better than Daddy. He's doing these fucking insane hurricanranas because he's taller and bigger. It looks cooler. It looks crazy. What is it? What's he doing? How is he doing this? How has this come from Dominic Mysterio? Has he been training? And it's nah, it was actually in him all along because he knew all this all along.
You have far too much faith in the capability of Dominic Mysterio.
Or maybe you've fallen for kayfabe too hard.
Stop it. Stop it. Get out of here with your pig Latin.
I'm just saying.
It's a fantastic idea. And I think if we were able to work him up to that level.
I'm just saying the future of Dominic Mysterio is there. It's there. He's still young.
I love the idea of Ray being in on it as well. He comes out and then just stood on the entranceway. And then Dom is just like, it's time. And the boys come together. El misterioso. Omnis nibendueno.
You don't even know what to say.
Please get rid of that. Please don't put that in.
Los Misterios. That would be
Los misterioso. The
also
LWO.
extra. But anyway, back to like some Money in the Bank, and maybe that could be it. It happens at Money in the Bank.
Nah,
Dominic Mysterio at Money in the Bank just becomes like the man, wins it, and then just like I said, just it's not even like a heel turn. It's like a skill turn. It's like
a skill turn.
It's like what DDP did.
No,
Come
no,
on,
we're not
how is it
doing
any
this.
less than what happened with DDP?
Okay, what happened with DDP?
So he was a guy who was never a wrestler. He was a hype man, a manager, and people never imagined this guy had any technical skill. The man's a fucking yogi now. What the fuck?
That's not what he was. He started late, but he was a phenomenal wrestler.
But for the longest time, it was part of his character that no one expected him to be a good wrestler or to win or even, become a
Was
champion. For a long time, yeah. For the longest time, DDP, I've watched a lot of random retrospects, and I haven't watched a lot of them, but he's on the list of people that became a big-time wrestler after not at all being a wrestler.
That angle's true, but I think that's so harsh to DDP.
What do you mean? I'm still surprised. Like, who is it that he saved from their like drug or alcohol addiction through his yoga?
Jake the Snake.
That's
Don't laugh.
The man with a snake in the bag had a drinking problem.
He has a snake in a brown
So
bag.
the guy who tried to kidnap the Undertaker's wife saved him with yoga. Come on. Tell me this is only WWE, only the world of wrestling, professional wrestling, could give you that outside of kayfabe and within kayfabe. It's brilliant. The melding of the worlds. When you tell these people's stories, in 50 years, that's all anyone will say for the record. The man with a snake in a bag and the man who kidnapped the Undertaker's wife and broke into his house in a whole home invasion saved this man from alcoholism with yoga. True story. That's all I have to say. Back to Money in the Bank.
No Hollywood actor in the world is capable of this. They go to court and they go on a national scale. You got Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. You don't have you don't have DDP and Jake the Snake.
Fucking insane. Oh my god. I really hope you've got a good that is wait. Such good shit today. Because I need to get a laugh.
Such good shit. I haven't
really
actually, but I'm gonna think about it.
Because because you know it off the top of your head. Like, just know one. And then just make something up.
I have a proposed one. I'm gonna come up with it.
Why don't I pitch my stupid one from the thing that sort of helped trigger this whole thing? My dumb idea. But we'll talk about this later. There are still things Money in the Bank that we'll talk about because we have not talked enough about the women's Money in the Bank. And
No.
shamefully, I haven't watched enough. I've watched about 4 women's Money in the Bank. Obviously, one of those included.
That's most of them.
Yeah, I do realize there's not been that many. So I didn't watch the first. Weirdly,
You're lucky. Do you want to know who won that?
I do know who won that. I know who won every Money in the Bank.
Who won it?
I did my fucking homework. Carmella won the first.
No, James Ellsworth won it.
Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. She won twice that year, Stephen.
She won the same match twice through
same
the body
way.
of a man.
It's
Such good shit. We're not doing smarks anymore. We're doing it such good shit.
Fuck, man. The
Only
worst thing
Vince.
is, I don't really even know who she is. And that
Carmella.
that guy who the fuck is that guy? Because he genuinely looks like guys I bought weed off when I was 15. Like, I don't know if that's his fucking gimmick, but like, he looks like a. This won't mean much to many people. Shout out to people from my hometown, Bournemouth, but he just looks like someone from Boscombe.
Bro, that's me when I shave.
That's his fucking gimmick. He just looks like someone from Boscombe High Street. Like, and like, let's put a fucking image up, and everyone's gonna be like, "Yep, straight out of Boscombe." It's fucking insane. But yeah, that's all I know about her. She's won Money in the Bank twice. She used to hang around with a guy who may have been a crackhead as his gimmick, and I don't know if she faked a leg injury in like the second or third Money in the Bank. I can't tell. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
Was it real?
Well, no.
Are you sure?
I don't know if I'm confusing this with Alexa Bliss and her fake arm injuries.
No. So there's a moment where it's maybe in like the third. I think it's the one that Bailey wins. So I don't know which one. I think that's like maybe.
That's like 2019.
I think it's 2019. Yeah, because the same one. Yeah, that same.
At least it wasn't Brock.
So one of the worst, counted by one of the better wins. Yeah, the one Bailey wins. There's a moment where I think she gets pulled off ladder by someone. I am really terrible. I don't know everyone's names. Listen, I need to catch up a lot. She gets pulled off, and the way she lands looks a bit odd. And then within that same moment, this person swings at her, and you see it like, it's a Botchamania, you talk too much moment where she's like, no, get off me. And then like you see her like, well, I've just swung at you, and like everyone's watching, so I'm gonna do it again. And she does it again, and she's like, no, get off me. And then like she immediately drops down, like rolls out the ring, and referees just like grab her, and it's like, okay, like the way she responded to like being struck was like she's not in the mood to be struck because she just hurt herself. She's like, no, get off me. and then she gets walked out. But then the weird part is she comes back to the match later for about 2 minutes, and then is never seen again. So I think she tries to come back out, but then I think she is actually hurt.
Does she have a spot?
So she tries to do a Ric Flair, but I think she's actually hurt.
Does she perform any spots in that time?
No. After that, she doesn't do anything.
That's wishful thinking then. But bear in mind, this is probably during the time when she was cheating with Corey Graves. So
maybe. But yeah, I'm not sure. It looks sort of real because it just looks like, I don't know, I can't tell. Because it's not like, you don't see any like forced X signs. It's literally just, in that moment, she gets pulled off ladder, and then like, it looks like she tried to put weight on her leg, and then it doesn't go well. And
isn't that funny that as soon as some reality is brought into this, we get really annoyed. We're just like, I don't like that.
Yeah, don't play with the meta, like let the meta be the meta. Don't try and play my perception of it, like, yes, people know about the X signal now, but don't like throw it around like all over the place,
Oh, yeah. The moment they use the X signal as a thing, I get really annoyed because it's disrespectful to the business.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we know it's real. We know it's supposed to be used for real things.
Especially if like they do the referee looks at the camera and throws up the X. I'm like, oh no, that's fake as fuck. Don't do that.
There's one moment I need confirmation on because I don't know whether it's real or not, because I've heard a lot of things around it. But it's the Matt Hardy shouting at Edge moment where he calls him Adam and then says that you can catch me on Ring of Honor.
What? Right after?
Yeah. I still don't know if that moment's real or not. Because since then, both of them have talked about how they didn't like how WWE used the realism of the situation and how it actually had already happened. And then, so basically the events that we saw on screen were actually like months later. Like, it had already happened, but like what was happening on screen was forced, and like they were just using it.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if that, but the thing about that moment, and the reason I think I'm not sure if it's real or not, still knowing the information, is like the guy who's like the security they send after him, and like the guy grabbing him after he was just swinging on Edge, when he after he says you can catch your Ring of Honor, and then there's other guy who looks a bit like he's in a different outfit to the rest of security. Looks like he seriously wants to get the mic off him. And it's like, I'm like, this looks more real than normal. Like, as in, like, this guy looks like he doesn't give a shit even if Matt Hardy could punch the shit out of him. He's been told, get that fucking mic out of his hands and get it now.
Get him. Such bad shit.
Like, and it's like, okay, like, what the fuck? This guy, like, looks like he like, it doesn't look like, it doesn't look fake. It looks like he's seriously wrestling Matt Hardy to the ground to stop him from talking
most
anymore.
Most of that storyline looked real.
It was crazy.
For the most part, it was all fake.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, was that fake? I don't know. That's the only thing. One of the few things I'm not sure to this day.
I'm not sure
how
either,
real that moment
actually.
was.
I know, like when they got to SummerSlam and they had the big match, that was fake because they faked him like breaking his nose on the ring post, which is the worst way to end that possible. You should have him break his nose and then come back and kick his ass.
Yeah,
because it means so much to him. Why would you have him lose like that? Have him carried away. He's a pussy. He's a soft cock.
Anyway, time for Edge's title run.
Yay!
It's Mr. Money in the Bank.
And then he gets pussy live on camera.
Sorry, he gets interrupted by Kane.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I think of when I think of pussy, Kane.
Hellfire and Brimstone.
The sensitive red machine.
But like, all in all, going back to what we were pretty much saying at the beginning, I do think the best women's Money in the Bank, because that's what we were talking about, is probably the most recent. I just think it was
fully agree.
Probably one of the best matches. It was solid. It was just so much fun.
Had the best roster. I think every woman in that match was fantastic.
Io does a backflip in the first like 3 minutes.
Like, 3 minutes,
literally.
Also, can we just take a moment? This is a Smarks podcast first. Can we raise a Smarks podcast toast to Io Sky?
To Io Sky.
To Io Sky. Raising that. She is a phenomenal talent. Unbelievable. And she deserves every great thing that comes her way.
She makes me hate Damage Control less.
That's impressive because the entire point of Damage Control. I mean, I know you watched SummerSlam 2022 the other day, and we will come on to that because you saw the formation of them.
Yeah.
But that is the point of them. You're supposed to hate them.
Yeah, but
none of them are really hateable on their own.
It's not even that I hate them as a stable, like, you're supposed to hate the Judgment Day, who I love. No, it's the whole gimmick. In fact, it is the gimmick. I hate what they wear. I feel like it's such a fucking terrible fucking mark on the women's division when 80% of the women are doing the same thing. It's so sad. It was almost like as soon as and forgive me for getting it wrong, was it Alexa Bliss who did the Harley Quinn thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, I was like, come on, girl. Like, I get it, you're trying to get over with girls, but like everybody in the world saw that a mile off. The whole like, and I can only describe Damage Control as a messier female Hardy Boys in terms of visuals. That's because that's all they've got is the visuals of looking like the Hardy Boys, but girls and more clothes for some reason. But like, I also feel like the whole two-tone hair, neon, sort of weird, semi-punky, but like flary outfits is like 80% of the women's division in terms of visuals right now. And it's...
Yeah. You look at Liv Morgan.
I was like, everybody... I was like, Damage Control, like, 50% of the women's division could be in Damage Control right now if it was just the attire. Like, I don't get it. Like, how is Damage... What are they other than that? Yeah, what are they other than that?
They don't have them.
It's like, oh, it's just Bayley talking trash. And it's like, yeah, but as far as I know, Bayley could just be doing this on her own. Why are we doing this? And it's like, again, I know that's, outside of kayfabe, it's pretty much because half of the team can't talk, so they need Bayley to get them over more. And that's worked because we love Io, because she's actually sick.
She's unbelievable. But the idea of it came from the fact that Dakota, who is a new Legacy Inc. original, we love Dakota,
I haven't seen enough Dakota Kai. I'll be honest with you. She, especially because she's injured at the moment. I have not really seen much of her. Like she's literally she's the third and unfortunately weakest member to me because obviously I understand Bailey's legacy and Io is up and coming like massively.
It's only because the other two are so good.
Yeah,
but she has unbelievable potential. Great on the mic, great in the ring. When she gets the chance, she'll shine. But the weird thing with Damage Control is it was Bailey claiming two folks from NXT and just being like, yeah, I've got people here now with me. And you saw it when they debuted at SummerSlam. It's shite. It's been a year, man. Been a year. What have they done? Nothing. They've gotten beaten by Bianca so many times, but not even getting beaten by Bianca. All three of them, like trying to interrupt. They get the fucking what's Bianca's finishing move? I know what it looks like. It's her holding them over her shoulder.
It's similar to Go to Sleep, but it's something else. What is it? It's like,
not the WMD. That's Big Show.
WMD?
Yeah, the Weapon of Mass Destruction. That's when he punches someone.
Was that really what that was called?
Yeah, the WMD.
I just thought he chokeslammed people. When did we start calling that the WMD? That's hilarious.
He had the choke slam and the WMD. It was just a punch. He punched him in the face, closed fist, which is illegal in wrestling.
No, I still can't remember. I can't name Bianca's move, but I know it's just 3 letters. It's like similar to EST, but something else.
I'm actually going to Google this.
It's going to really bother me when you say it, because I'm like, I knew this, but I've had too much rum and Stella. I'm wilding out.
Ah, boy.
Come on.
It starts with K. You can tell
it's
there.
The KOD.
KOD.
Which stands for
Kill on Demand.
Kill on Demand. No, it's not.
No.
Fuck, I've already forgotten it.
Right.
I think it's because I still don't know what EST stands for.
Well, it's...
But I know what KOD stands for, but I keep forgetting that as well. So KOD stands for something like really obvious.
Well, EST is just the est.
So
the great EST. The greatest. The strong EST. Est.
Oh, is that what it is? See,
yeah.
I'm a bit old school. So EST, when you have that on anything branded, stands for established. And you normally follow EST with a year.
We were established 1993.
Yeah. So I'm like, is it supposed to be like she's established? She's just calling herself like, not EST a year, it's just EST. She is established. She is the EST, the established. Not the est. The est is, that's...
She is the est of everything.
Fucking...
The bestest.
African-American slang, man. It's so infuriating.
But it works.
No, it doesn't. It's like Finna. I'm going to go on a rant here. It's like...
Finna?
It's like Finna, man. Finna drives me insane.
Well, I mean, wait until you hear what
Finna
Rage stands for.
I'm Finna Rage, which literally just means I'm fitting...
Oh, Finna!
I'm fitting to... I'm like,
who you finna try? Who you finna try?
I'm like, what? Like, why are we making slang for such stupid things? Est. She's the EST. She's the est. Like, guys, is there any way to make ourselves seem more stupid? Sorry, I'm going to get us cancelled by the entire black community on this.
It's fine, KOD? As long as I'm not saying it. KOD. Have a guess. Have a think of a song released by a white man.
You've seriously put Kill on Demand on my head, and it's really fucking annoying.
I mean, it starts with the same letters, you know?
I think that's the point. Wouldn't have worked otherwise.
Shut up. Right. There are 3. Oh.
Just say it, man.
Right. Inspired by J. Cole.
I don't love J. Cole that much.
No one does. J. Cole is for people who aren't smart enough to get Kendrick Lamar.
These people that aren't smart enough to listen to Lupe Fiasco and realise he's better.
Right. It stands for Kids on Drugs.
No, it doesn't.
Say he stands for it. Go on. Tell everyone you were wrong.
That's not it.
Kids on drugs, king overdosed, and kill our demons.
That's not what KOD stands for.
Apparently it is.
I swear to God, that's not what KOD stands for. I heard that commentator whose name I also don't know say it, and I forgot.
What? Corey Graves.
Yeah.
He don't know shit.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
He only knows how to cheat on his wife.
Jesus Christ. I feel like you know so much deep cut info about wrestling, the wrestling world. I feel like we're basically done with Money in the Bank at this point. Like we've really tried to like talk about our best and favorite moments. Like, as I've made it abundantly clear, the best to me was probably the first year.
I think it was this year.
Even though I don't love the winner, like my favorite winner of Money in the Bank will always be RVD, obviously, because he's the GOAT. And if there's anyone I want to see win a ladder match that means everything, that led to winning a title, which he did win, but I felt like it was a scapegoat because it didn't count and he was stripped of the title too quickly.
That's why you don't smoke weed, kids.
Smoke weed, kids. RVD is an advocate. He fought the system. He sort of won. I don't know. He's one of the GOATs. I say this about everyone.
He went
I don't know if you've
TNA.
caught on.
He did not win.
What do you mean? This is Mr. Monday Night. Which, for the record,
Rob Van Dam.
I never understood why he got that title. Because did ECW even have any Monday night shows? And did they ever dominate the ratings for Monday night shows? Because I don't think you can be called Mr. Monday Night if you're not the most watched thing on a Monday night.
I think the original idea was he was the whole freaking show. And then when he went to Raw, he was Mr. Monday Nights.
Oh, they called him Mr. Monday Night on Raw. I thought that was
Yeah.
maybe... I again, being young and ignorant when I was watching RVD, I just assumed that was his nickname rolled over from ECW.
Don't think so, but I didn't really watch ECW.
Let's check.
Let's have a look.
Shows what we watch on the network
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
all there.
Well, I've started venturing out
Literally,
into
you
WCW
type
recently.
Mr. Monday Night. I don't know why that was the first thing I typed in Google, but Rob Van Dam comes up, which is interesting. Can you say his last name? Can you say his real name?
What is his real name?
It's Robert, obviously. His middle name-
Robert Van Dam.
No, it's not. It's Robert Alexander. I want to say Shatowski.
Shatowski.
Shatowski. I see. So people started calling him Mr. Monday Night after his debut and defeating of Jeff Hardy, which to many sort of cemented him as the most exciting man in the company to watch, because that sort of was low key like Jeff Hardy's secret thing. Like, going back to the conversation we had about, like, I said Matt Hardy was better, but like at the end of the day, in those early 2000s day, because like we look back and it's really funny, like you've got our GOATs of those times, like, you know, the headliners, but the tag division was actually the thing that held the Attitude Era together. Like hardcore and tag divisions were holding it together, and there was no better act from that than the Hardy Boys.
Because they did actual wrestling.
And the Hardy Boys' favorite was Jeff, so it was almost like Jeff was the pull, almost like the mid card pull of the company, and actually like one of the people that held it together was probably like people's love for Jeff Hardy. Just one-time bombs. So Rob Van Dam sort of came in and took Jeff Hardy's role as the most exciting person to watch, which I would agree. It was between him and Rey Mysterio in that era. Like, in terms of that mid-card exciting act to watch, it was Rob Van Dam or Rey Mysterio. Because, yeah, the Hardys had sort of died out. Jeff was gone. Matt was was experimenting with new gimmicks. I wouldn't say failing. I'd just say experimenting. It was an experimental phase. I love Matt Hardy.
He's going into his V1 Be nice
Matt
to
Hardy version 1.
V1.
Made sense. It was his first new gimmick. Leave Matt Hardy alone.
I'm not having a go at him. I love him and his great.
Delete.
Delete. Obsolete. Yeah. I can't believe we've not touched on how over in the O2 Arena LA Knight was.
Do you know what? I was actually somewhat underwhelmed. Not underwhelmed. Like, he got a very solid reception. Maybe because the men went first. So, like, in terms of, like, biggest pops, yeah, he got the first biggest pop of the night, but he didn't get the biggest.
Well, I'm
Like,
not even
in
talking
fact-
about during the show.
In fact, I'd go as far as to say as, like, the Usos got a somewhat bigger. I was actually surprised at how big a reception the Usos got.
Because he was at the start of the show.
Yeah, I think, like I said,
Everyone
he set the bar. Like, I think he was the first big pop. But when he came out, I was like, yeah, that's like, you know, in terms of when I rewatched, and I was like, because I was comparing everything to the John Cena pop. Like, the John Cena pop, I think there's a barometer for it in terms of, like, first seconds of, like, I'm talking hearing the first, like, few notes of their theme, John Cena, then the Usos, then LA Knight. And only because, like, it was similar to with the John Cena with the Usos, where, like, you could hear people singing the words, which I'd never heard. I'd never heard the crowd, like, you hear them, you know, Uso, but, like, people were singing the words.
Cody Rhodes.
To their fucking... But
the problem is,
that I have heard people singing the words to Cody a couple of times.
You've heard the, whoa!
Now, even, like, adrenaline, even though, like, you can hear it, like...
say something Cody Rhodes.
something Cody Rhodes.
That's what most people do.
Something Cody Rhodes. Like, you know, I get so annoyed by hearing that song that, like, when it comes on, my girlfriend likes to sing it at me just to annoy me. Like, she's even got to the part, like, every time she hears it, she's picking up, she's got to the, and my father said, I'm like, will you fuck off? Like, stop learning the words. I'm like, it's annoying as fuck.
Viewers or listeners, raise a glass to Olivia. She deserves it. She's a queen.
I want to name drop our future guests. So Olivia will be a guest. She's like almost, I don't want to treat her like a fucking guinea pig, but I am, like, basically exposing her to wrestling, and we're going to get on the podcast and hear what wrestling's like from someone who's been pretty much binge watching it for 5 months and a female. Very interesting stuff. We're breaking grounds, guys. We're breaking new grounds.
She's going to kill it, and she's going to have such bollocks to say, and I can't wait.
And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we're going to get Gary Rose in.
The wrestling Nazi himself.
Gary's not a Nazi.
He's a I didn't say that!
No, he didn't. We have editing. We'll get Gary in.
The wrestling Nazi. That's
say,
different.
Like, Gary's interesting because, you know, he's older than me, and he's, like, thusly more of a historian than you. Just de facto more of a historian because he's older.
I agree.
And also a mark. Let's just say it. He's a mark.
He is a mark. We played the game when we went to the show, which he came out and was like,
Is this your Gary impression?
Yeah.
Sounds like the fucking Cookie Monster.
Tom Waits. I've seen every wrestling match. I've seen every type of wrestling match. Which we immediately just lambast him for. So, have you seen a Hell in a Cell? Nah. Seen a cage match?
He's saying live, he's seen every wrestling?
Yeah, he's seen every wrestling match.
Which he obviously hasn't.
No, have you seen a Kiss My Foot match? Nah, I've seen that.
Brian Panties?
Brian Panties? Nah.
Inferno?
Nah.
Is he even, like, I could destroy this argument in about 5 guesses.
And that's what was fun, because of the confidence he came in with.
I've seen every type.
All of them. Have you seen a fucking Judy Bagwell on a pole match? No.
Anyway, we'll get Gary on. Gary will be a lot of laughs, because...
He'll carry this podcast.
To be honest with me. He'll fill in all the gaps. And then there's a surprise guest as well, which someone I've warmed him up, and he's down, and it's your old friend Isaiah Shotakari.
Is he coming on?
He's fully down to come on this podcast. Yeah, man.
Oh, fuck yeah!
I see him a lot. I saw him couple times over the last week, and he's like, "How's the podcast going?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, am I coming on?" I was like, "Bro, I will hit you up. You're coming on this podcast." He's like, "I can't wait to hang with you and Steven, man."
Last 2 times I've seen him. The first time I saw him, I was like, "Hey!" Second time I saw him, I didn't recognize him. I felt bad. But this time, I'm gonna give him a big hug. I'm gonna give him a cuddle.
He loves you, man. Every time I mention you, he mentions someone else. Like, Steven's one of the coolest white guys I know.
That's the nicest thing
Do you
ever
realize
said to me.
no, that's not even nice. Do you realize what that is to a black person? If like the fact that he said this to multiple black people, he almost like make sure to reaffirm to the nearest black person. By the way, the soundest white person I know is Stephen Copeland. I'm just
That's
saying,
my
man.
gimmick now.
That's your gimmick. I'm a black man's favorite. I am approved by a black man. Like, I've got the stamp. I nearly have the pass. I'm so close.
What's the reverse of an Uncle Tom?
I think it's just a wigger.
I'm a stigger.
I'm sure the woke community have many labels for it. You know, appropriator and all those. I'll be cool about it and just say you're part of the community now. I just like have you ever seen the Dave Chappelle skit where they they do the racial draft where like each race gets to draft someone outside of their draft to their race.
Oh,
It's like first
that's
pick,
very wrestling, actually.
and it's hilarious because the way he pitches like most of the other races are basically like itching to steal black people into their race. Like Chinese steal the entire Wu-Tang Clan.
Of course they do.
It's fucking great. White people steal Tiger Woods. And
I'm torn between the whole. Yes, he's really good at golf, but he also cheated on his wife.
he's
So
a
that's
he's a rich
people.
white man, pretty much.
That's white people.
I don't know who we did. I was like, I can't remember. Like in the skit, like they're joking, like, oh, who black people gonna take? Are they gonna take Eminem, or are they gonna take like? And
Don't take Eminem.
no, we don't need Eminem. I can't remember who we take in the draft, but it's hilarious. Point being, in the modern draft, we're taking Jeff Hardy. We're taking Jeff.
Oh!
Just so he can be like, "What's up, nigga?"
He comes out with the glow in the dark spray paint.
And he can blackface fully, and no one can ask questions because he's basically there with the blackface already.
Yeah, he is. He's every other color in
He's
black.
getting
at this
so
point.
close. He's like deep purple. Under certain lights, he's like, hey, is that motherfucker? Oh no, it's cool. It's purple. Oh, it's Jeff Hardy. Oh no, you know who he wants.
Yeah, everyone joins in. Everyone's throwing the arms. We're all right.
Listen, I feel like we've derailed so hard. I don't even know where we're at with this anymore.
Well,
So, have you come up with your it's good shit yet?
I'm about 5 minutes away.
All right, well, that's perfect time for my little story, my little tale. And I don't know, I'm gonna have to fucking like wing this because I've really only got like the punchline. So when we first came up with it's good shit, it was basically a mixture of a brainchild. I can't remember whose like initial idea it was, but like I was influenced to start coming up with insane Vince-ish ideas, Vince McMahon style ideas, and my initial pitch is one that Stephen couldn't really pitch anyway because of the nature of the pitch, which was
It's going to be ethnicity based, isn't it?
yeah, it was I was thinking, with the many heel turns that the Big Show had, I'm surprised that he didn't just repackage him altogether. And I'm thinking, why didn't, in classic Vince fashion, with his obsession with black culture, slap just a do-rag. That's all he needs is a do-rag and like a hip-hop version. Just have some guys like, and some like, it's the big no, wait, sorry. Let me rewind because it's not the Big Show anymore. It's the Nick Show. It's a big Nick Show tonight, y'all. Get a black artist to do the theme songs. It's not even racist, and just make sure that like, just so the angle works perfectly, have it work so only the theme song and other black wrestlers say Nick Show. He never refers to himself as Nick Show. That's the best part.
Well, that's quite wholesome.
That's how you get away with the ankle. When people start inevitably complaining. Like, the white man never said Nick Show, for the record. Only Booker said Nick Show. Nick Show! Nick Show! Are you fucking serious?
Well, you could have him, like, there'll be entire promos. He'll do, like, a 2-minute promo, and then other, like, black wrestlers will come out, and they will do the rest for him. And then once, like, you've had, like, 5 black wrestlers cut a really in-depth, like, talent promo.
Have him restart the Nation of Domination.
Well, I was going to say, he raises a fist.
Literally, like, the Big Show, the Nick Show, restarts the Nation of Domination. Farouk comes back. But this time it's got Shelton Benjamin in it, Bobby Lashley. Like, this is like the toughest Nation of Domination ever, but it's just got Paul White in blackface and a do-rag.
No!
As its enforcer.
The words Paul White in blackface
such good
upset me.
shit. Because it's
such
name
good
is
shit.
Paul White, and you've got him in blackface. Come on.
What if they change his name from Big Show to Paul Black?
Paul Black. Like, come on, there's so many layers to this. There's so many layers. Come on. Telling me that, like, if I pitched this to Vince now, he'd kick himself. He'd be kicking himself. Like, where were you? Where were you in 2004?
He was the one. He slipped through my feet.
Where in 2004? I was 12, Vince. I was wondering why you allowed Kane to take off his fucking mask. Anyway, have you got your pitch yet? Have you got your test? Or did I distract you with Nick Show? We could all imagine it was Paul White in
Funny
blackface.
enough, the N-word show fucking got me.
Well, I think maybe we could just end it on that. I think that could be the bit. Instead of it's good, that was it's good shit presented by Zach. That's my one-off. I'll come up with another in like 3 weeks if Steven ever runs out of ideas again.
We'll get Isaiah to do a fucking.
We'll do it to Isaiah.
I was gonna say we'll get him to do a cover of fucking Big Show.
We'll get him in. We'll get him in the gear. Well. Do you know what? Just on a side note, if and when, because I feel like we're gonna have to, rather than it be a bit, we'll have to like supercut us talking about the best theme songs. I will say I've always loved the Big Show's theme. It's so simple, but for some reason it was like wholesome and weirdly exciting enough. Like in the moment, it's almost like, you know, when you needed a big man to come in and fuck shit up. It was like someone's talking trash, and it was like someone's gonna come in that there's no way they're beating, and just like you'd hear, well, you're like, yeah, you're about to get squashed.
Yeah.
And you wanted them. It was so satisfying. And I was like, you know what? His theme works so well for that. It was like, where? And then, you know, the little, I'm like, yeah.
It's so chaotic.
There was like a period where I didn't like Big Show, but then there was a period when he was just being used as the guy who would just come in. Similar to what Kane would do. It's like, you saw the flames, you're like, wow, this person's about to get fucked. And it was like, yeah, Big Show became that guy for a bit, and it was fun. It was actually quite funny, and I was like, yeah, I started to appreciate his theme and his whole gimmick with that. And I was like, yeah, this is why I feed back into, he might be on the, not on the GOAT. You know, my Rushmores. I think Big Show falls into my underrated Rushmores. I think he's one of the big name underrated. I'm talking like, he was always about in the main event scene to a degree. Like, you could never really say he was a mid-carder. Like, he's not a mid-carder.
He was too big.
He was too big. A 7-footer can't be a mid-carder. It's bullshit. That's insane. Maybe nowadays, but back then, no. There's no way. And that's why...
The great Carly did that.
That's why... That's not. Because we could shoot on him all fucking day. That's why he makes my underrated Rushmore, but there's more people on that. But Big Show is like, he's like the main. He's like, I don't know enough about American fucking presidents to really put him as one of the names, but he's like the second guy on the underrated Rushmore. I'll leave it at that.
That's a bold thing to leave us on for the night. You're going to get really heavily judged.
Paul White. I think there's going to be a massive amount of people that are like, you know what? You've got to give him his flowers. You have to give Paul White his fucking flowers, man.
I fully agree, but I'm still upset about it.
Yeah, and I
don't know what it is.
And I live to be the guy that literally gives you those conflicting emotions. You're like, this upsets me, but you're right. That's what I live
I'm
for.
here to upset everyone.
But you can't disagree with me. Is that such a fucking validating feeling to make someone have? Like, you're angry at me, but you also have to admit I'm right. That's just that's how you win debates.
Oh, that does get under my skin.
Man, imagine being in a relationship with me. We should end it on that.
Oh, he got so close to home for that one moment.
No, that was me admitting how difficult I am. Shout out to my girlfriend.
Fucking, she's gonna come on and she's gonna be the baby face.
She's the baby face. We've always been the heels. We were the heels as soon as we started shitting on Mark Calloway, my friend.
I'm still looking forward to. I like the idea, and it might come in a future episode. I want to hear your idea of a heel version of Zach, like a heel
Heels.
character Zach. And I've already got a couple for me.
What, as in heel Steven or heel me?
Oh, I'm just gonna throw out.
Heel both of us.
I'm gonna throw out the idea of a heel as sad boy Steven.
Oh yeah. We'll get there.
We're gonna get there.
Good night, everybody.
We love you.